I'm so excited to be here again with Zoe. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be able to do this with you again, Zoe. Very, very fun things that we have done. And uh, we are, the last month of 2024. And like, wow. I mean, life is so amazing. And we talked about unexpected timelines the last time we talked, which I still am feeling so strongly that we're all probably navigating in some way these unexpected timelines. And here we are today, as we're recording this, the sun, the moon and Venus are conjunct at the throat chakra gate. I'm wearing, this is dark blue. It's a midnight blue with the little sparkles on it, but it looks more black. So, but anyway, it was a good idea, I thought. And so, how are we reclaiming our voice in a way that it's like in ancient practices, ancient cultures, they recognized the voice when we sing, they could create magic. When they did invocation, they could create magic. When and one of the things I'm thinking about, Zoe, is your little video that you did where you have this whole invocation thing. We can put that in the show notes, we link to that in the show notes, because it was amazing. And like creating magic, like, how we use our voice to create magic. And so this is the opportunity we have now. Plus, Mercury's retrograde until December 15th, goes direct on the 15th with the Gemini full moon. Gemini is all about creative communication, how we express, and also not take ourselves so seriously. Because we can tend to get on the serious side. So how to have more fun and play, and to recognize that there's something called crazy wisdom, meaning that there's wisdom in doing things that are completely unexpected. And here we are on unexpected timelines, and maybe we thought we were going in this direction, and now we're really going in a different direction, and being open to the fact that that direction may also shift and change, that sort of thing. So that is basically the time that we're in. It's like, how are we claiming a healthy voice to communicate in ways that help to create magic, help to create the new world, the new way of being in this world through kindness, through love, through compassion, ideally, uh, to communicate in those ways and to creatively express in those ways. So I'm curious about how the cards and or even the astro dice might
Yeah.
be giving us some insights into what's going on,
Okay,
how we
thank
can
you.
best work with this.
Yeah, let's start out. So there's a cat that just jumped up right here. So you may see an ear, a tail, or hear something that sounds like a lawnmower. It's just purring. Okay. So let's see what energies I feel is the first question is gonna be highlighted for December. So what is the energy here? Okay. All right. So that makes perfect sense. So we've got Aquarius energy here with our astro dice.
Oh,
And so that makes sense, right? Because we have Pluto and Aquarius now. So that makes perfect sense. So for me, wow, and it came up again. So the energy here for me, the Aquarius energy, and Cayelin, maybe there's something you want to add to this that's coming up for me is that initiative, that futuristic impulse that, oh, and I guess that goes to what you're saying about doing things a little differently, being in this unexpected timeline. So tapping into the futuristic parts of yourself, the humanitarian parts of yourself is going to be very interesting for this time. And what about a house here? Okay, so we've got the fourth house. So that makes sense, right? We could be dealing more with family. It is the holidays, Cancer, so some issues coming up on the home front for December. And so what I would say, what I'm just feeling intuitively, my laptop's being moved. What I'm just feeling intuitively is to just go with the flow, go with the heart space and not allowing your or our stories to get us caught up.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not
And also, I would just say fourth house is, where do you feel safe? How do you feel safe inside yourself? How also it has to do with our ancestral lineage. And so, what are the gifts that we can also tune into from our ancestors? And, also maybe the wounding and the trauma that we volunteered. Huh, thank you so much. We volunteered to come and help and heal. So that feels like creating safe space. How do we create safe space for
Okay.
ourselves and those around us is what that would also be speaking into.
I love that because as you were talking, so one of the cards that fell out was the strength card in reverse. And so when this is in reverse, it's exactly what you're talking about. It can talk about not feeling strong. It can talk about manipulation and imbalance and discord. And one of the ways through that, and I also feel like this goes back to this fourth house, is with a sense of sensitivity, with this Queen of Cups. How can you sustain your sense of home within yourself? How can you protect your sensitivity at this time? How can you be a healer, not to the outside world, but to the self first, then to the outside world? Going back to that Aquarius energy, one thing about air signs, being an air sign myself, one of the things I like to think about is our ability to detach from certain things. And so, again, not getting caught up in the discord, not getting caught up in the weeds of things, but taking that bird's eye view and actually looking down. We have it's time to take action in reverse with this new moon in Aries. And so, here I would say again, it is the end of the year. It is time to settle down a little bit. And so, how can we take the brakes off and not rush into things? And yeah, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I'm just appreciating everything you've said, and the idea that the Aquarian aspect of it, that bird's eye view, the eagle's eye view, because the eagle flies closest to the sun, and literally, I saw an eagle spin and fly. This was many years ago, and it went so high up, it finally disappeared. We watched it and watched it as it was going up, and I was like, they really, literally do fly close to the sun. So they have this bigger cosmic perspective. Plus, this idea of the egalitarian views, and that we should all have the right to choose our own path as long as we're not doing harm to anyone else. So that we should have the freedom. And if we think about Aquarius as being free, about having freedom, the freedom to express that. But it may be, and I think what the cards are also saying is that we need time to tune into what that is for us, and to pause and not to necessarily rush out and try to make it happen right now.
Yeah, not to make it happen because the thing about it is, first of all, seasonally, we would all do well by working better seasonally, following nature and allowing ourselves to slow down, even though our culture, especially in the West, is like, go, go, go shop, go Black Friday, Cyber Monday, meh, right? Like, no, let's pause and look at, we were just talking about the miracles, Cayelin, on our
Oh, yeah.
call.
Ooh, love that.
We might be moving so fast that we're missing the miracle.
Yeah.
We might be so focused on the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Strength card in reverse and the Fool card in the reverse. So maybe we leapt before, looking or something, and we're caught up in this story, and we're so caught up in the story that we're missing the good stuff, you know? We're missing we're missing the slow, steady success of the Knight of Pentacles, the nurturing aspect of the Empress. And here we have Venus, right, showing up in this conversation. And so, yeah, that's the vibe. Slow down and look for the miracle. Look
In
for,
a way, we need to go within to really get attuned to what it is that's true for us, and how we want to have the freedom to express who we really are, and do that in a way that is adding to the light of the world, not detracting.
right?
Or yeah, that kind of thing. And we have seen the shadow side, of some of these things where there's people who want to be in control and want to control what it is that we're doing and how we are. But ideally, we have the freedom to make those choices within ourselves and to create the reality that really works for us. And and in a sense, it's like outside the box of the old reality. It's outside that construct so that we can create something new, moving outside that construct. But we need to take the time to go within and to experience that and to tune in and ask the part of ourselves that knows what steps to take. And it doesn't have to be huge steps. It could be small steps, baby steps, to begin that at this time because we're still want to stay in that more pause between place as we approach the December solstice when we have the longest night and the shortest day in the northern hemisphere. That time for rest, that time for really being in the dark and meditating and tuning in. So good. I think that's just so perfect.
Yeah. And to round out, I like to give questions and things like that. And so it's all of the things that you were talking about require us to take a certain stand, requires us to have a certain amount of fearlessness and courageousness. And then we have the pack in reverse. And so for me, just sort of coming back, it's, where can I be more courageous? Where do I need to step away from the pack? Where do I need to step away from my family story, my familial story, my lineage, and really follow my soul, my spirit, my heart,
Yeah.
and my journey
Yeah.
as we go into 2025, which we'll talk about 2025 in our next conversation.
Yes. We will. Oh, wow. And the other thing about miracles is I think there's something called the Course of Miracles. Many listening may already know about the Course of Miracles. And I think it's lesson 777 that says expect miracles because we don't necessarily expect them. So if we can align our energy so that we're expecting them, and being willing to see them and inviting them to be a part of who we are. I am a miracle. My life is a miracle. Miracles are happening around me all the time. I mean, whatever kind of affirmation you can start to claim that miracles are happening all the time. And sometimes they're simple things about, how we meet someone or how we happen to connect. And, it's like, it's a miracle.
And
So,
here, like
yeah.
like we're here, like we had to fight a whole bunch of other things to get in this door. So
Right, right. Yeah, and then there's more obvious miracles, of course, and the people have visitations or uh, things that happen that were just like they were going down the road this way and then they got redirected that way and then somehow they wound up in the perfect place to meet the right person at the right time to create something that wasn't even anything they were thinking about, but it was just exactly what they wanted. They just didn't know it yet.
well, and thinking about affirmations too, it's like thank you for the miracles known and unknown, seen and unseen.
Yes, beautiful. Oh, you're
He got excited.
your kitty. What's the kitty's name?
Prince after Prince, the
Oh,
artist.
cool.
Prince.
Love it. And Princess being a prince.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about Gemini energy. He's
Right.
fully embodies that Gemini energy that we were talking about, that mercurial energy for
Yes,
sure.
yes. Yeah. So, and I mean, if you think about Mercury retrograde, it's not just communication, but it's also how we perceive our reality and how we're expressing our creative selves, because our communication is not limited to what we are saying.
Yeah,
Everything we're doing is a creative expression. So the Mercury retrograde stationing direct on the Gemini full moon gives us this opportunity to have more fun, be more playful, and not take it all so seriously. Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
And maybe that's where that, when we talk about communicating too, right? Like, how are we communicating about that? How are we communicating about our creativity? How are we speaking about our creativity? How
Yeah.
can we expand that? Because Mercury can be expansive too, right? So how can we expand how we talk about our life as a creative endeavor?
Well, and when we think about Mercury retrograde, it's taking that deeper dive. So Mercury moves really fast. It
Yes.
goes around the sun in 88 days. It goes retrograde three times a year, sometimes a fourth time in a year. In some years, but it's like about 20 days retrograde, 21 days retrograde. And it's about like stepping back away from. So it looks like Mercury's crossing certain stars, and then it comes back to pause, or it pauses and goes back over the same stars, like taking a deeper look, taking a deeper, having the ability to go deeper into how we're perceiving and receiving the experience of this life. And so, what are the things we're going back to look at?
Mm.
Way. And what are the things we might have walked by and missed completely the first time? So now we
And
need to go
you
back.
have to move, and you have to move slow to do that.
Yeah. Well, actually, maybe even need to step back to do
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
that's what Mercury is doing. It's stepping away from where it was
Yeah.
based on our perception of
Yeah.
what Mercury's doing in the sky. It's not what it's really doing, but
Yeah.
how we see. And it's that, and it's also kind of a magic, like um, because Mercury's never moving backwards. It's always moving forwards, but from our perspective, it looks like it's moving backwards. So that's an expression of magic.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So how are we creating magic with our voice, with our how we are perceiving things, what we're speaking into, what we're invoking, what we're intending,
Mm.
uh, and then what are the miracles that are lining up to help bring that magic into form?
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. I love it. Good
Yeah.
job.
So that may be. Do are we complete? Do you feel like there's anything more?
I do know. I feel complete. I feel
Okay.
complete. Yeah, 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 for
Excellent.
sure.
Excellent. Well, so here's to a fabulous end of 2024. We'll be back. Be sure to check out the show notes for more that we talked about here. And yeah, I have a short video on Mercury retrograde that kind of talks about everything I just said, and then Zoe's little 2 minute, 3 minute
3 minute
video.
short film.
Yeah, it's so good. So I'm hoping people will watch that.
Please
And
watch it.
yeah. So, all right. So happy high holy days, everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.